To see, we're in the newsroom. You know, we tackle a lot of issues here before the show, and one of the things that's been going on, a lot of new people in the building that we don't recognize, and what happens is when you pass them in the hall, you say hello. Sometimes they don't say hello back, and that's happened a lot lately. Me, you know how I react, I just keep walking, but I make sure they hear me. I just say like, hey, keep in touch. We all kind of have one thing that we say. Bill Kistner, how does it make you feel when somebody doesn't say hello back?
I simply turn around and say, I'm not going to be ignored.
Good one.
That works.
Here we have Charles Hayes. Charles, somebody walks by, you say hello, they don't say it back. What do you say?
I say, hey, good talk.
Very good. Anne Marie, how are you?
Hi.
Somebody walks by, you say hi, they don't give it back. What do you say?
I say, oh, hey, I think you left something back there. Your manners.
Yeah.
Hi-oh!
And finally, we have sports producer Nick. Hey, Nick. Somebody walks by, they don't say hi. What do you say? I think his is the best. You give it right back to him.
Yeah.
There's some things to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to face reality. Even though you might get mad at me. Sometimes it's hard to face reality. Don't be afraid.
What's going on, my trolls here on YouTube? What's going on? Back here with a new video. Today, I want to talk about, attention. And when you think about, or when I think about how women seem to be very annoyed when it comes to male attention. And, I can understand that they are dealing with a lot of male attention, and whether it's positive or negative, they are kind of burned out with the, I guess you could say, the attention that guys give to them. And, it's to the point where I guess, sometimes you can see where, and I've got like coworkers who I will walk by and have no interest in this particular female at all. And it could be down, whether it be at work or it could be at the street, at the store, walking down the street, anything. And, I'm the kind of guy that if I walk past someone, I'm going to acknowledge their presence. I'm going to say hi, nod, or something. I'm just going to acknowledge the fact that that person exists and I'm walking by them. And, you have a lot of women that will be very indignant when that happens, and they either won't even make contact with you, or they just, look at you and they won't speak or won't, do the gesture of acknowledgement. And, and even to the point where I've been walking down a hallway, coworkers, people at work, and I will walk down the hall and we're the only two people in the hallway. And I know if the hallway's full of people, you can easily just find someone to latch eyes onto or to draw your attention away from you. But these people, some of these women will literally walk by you in the hallway and will just, turn and look the other way. And you're the only people in the hallway and you know each other because you work with each other. And so it always boggles my mind when you have women that do these things, and even when you have no interest in those women at all. And I, kind of have just, I thought back today, and I thought to myself, social media has destroyed, I guess, human interaction, and it has destroyed the interaction that you can have with women out here in the world. Because if it wasn't for social media, then women would not have the kind of attention. They would not receive the kind of attention that they do if it was not for social media. Now, of course, women will always and have always gotten attention from men. That's, historical from the beginning of time. And even within, I guess you could say local, areas, if it's in a school or something like that, yes, if you're popular, just in general, well, I would say if you're popular, then you're going to get a lot of attention. But I feel like if it had not been for social media, where it then opens up just the average, ordinary woman from, it opens up their access to the attention that they normally would not have gotten in the real world if they only had to deal with the people around them. Because before the internet and before Facebook and MySpace and Instagram and all of these social media outlets that exist now, before that time, pretty much if you got a lot of play, if you got a lot of attention, it was because you were kind of deserving of that attention. You were popular. And this was usually kind of regulated to, or, to just, your, I guess, your environment, whether it be, so if you were a student, then it was basically at school. And maybe if you went out, you went to the mall, or you were out around town or things like that, you might get hit up. But it was basically, for the most part, the bulk of the attention that you got were from people at school. But because people knew you, they knew if you were dating someone, and if you were dating someone, they wouldn't mess with you. So everyone knew that. So you would still get attention, you still would be popular, but for the most part, everyone knew who you were, and they knew not to treat you. They knew not to approach you as if they were trying to, to date you. Now, of course, when you would go outside of the school, that would be a different story. If you were at work, before the internet, the bulk of attention that you might get would be from being at work. And if you're an adult, then yes, then you're going to bars or clubs or things like that. But however, if you go to those places, those are kind of expected that men are going to hit on you. They're going to approach you. So it's very disheartening that the majority of the interaction that, just the average woman would never get. You might have like a couple of guys that might go up to her, that might ask her out, maybe write her a note or something like that. That would happen back in the day, but now, because you have the internet, which opens you up to the world, so just anybody can just pop up on your page. Anybody can just slide up in your DMs. So you are now getting all of this attention from men that now, yes, it then makes sense that, well, if you're getting all of these guys that keep hitting on you and keep messaging you on social media, on Facebook or Instagram or dating sites and things like that, then yes, you're going to think that you're going to think that you're above who you really are. And that's because you have so many guys who are going to be desperate. And because it's online and not in person, people are going to be more apt to take a chance with you. And even still, they're going to look at you and they're going to be able to judge your sexual market value based on what they see in your profile, and they're going to know whether or not they would actually pursue you as something legitimate or serious, or if they would just look at you as a potential hookup. So, yes, I can see where you would be frustrated, where women would be frustrated because of their guys kind of coming up to them and giving them attention because they assume that, that's just what happens to everyone. And they think that all women go through that. And the reason why they think all women go through that is because even though they don't get a lot of guys coming up to them in real life, they get a ton of guys jumping into their DMs and then trying to, do whatever, trying to ask them out, trying to get them to hook up, whatever the case is. It's just crazy to the point where it's, I think it literally is the downfall of human interaction between, men and women. So, I would hope that there'd be something that would be a fix for this, which I could only say that it's getting rid of social media altogether, because without it, I think people are going to be more apt to be realistic, in the way that people perceive each other and the way that people interact with each other. Because I would say that if women got rid of social media and they got rid of that attention, they would lose their absolute minds, because they love that attention and they need that attention. And women, I think, it's like they say, attention is like a drug to women. They need it. And if they didn't have the attention, then what would they do? What would you do? If you didn't have guys validating your belief that you're more than that, than that you're more desired than you actually are, what would you do if you didn't have tons of people kind of feeding into that, whether or not it was actually true or genuine or not? So I don't know. It just, I was just sitting there thinking about that, and I wish we could go back to that time where, I guess, your normal interaction with people, you could walk by someone and say hi, nod to them, and not feel like you were being a burden to that person, like you were bugging them. That would be what I wish we could go back to. But sadly, we're at the point, we're at the place where we're at now, and we just have to, roll around in, the mess that we've made for ourselves. So that's it. I just wanted to, pop on here and talk about that, because, it definitely is something that has been, on my mind. And, being someone who has been on the dating app stuff and seeing how it just destroys reality for a lot of men and women, but specifically for a lot of women who think that the attention that they get is genuine attention, and that just because they have guys that are trying to slide in their inbox or their DMs, that means that these are guys that really want them and that really want something serious with them. And to be honest, a lot of women, I think now you have a growing number of women that don't even want that relationship like they used to way back in the day, that they're more willing to, to just hook up, so that interaction, it's done. Because I remember back in the day where a normal guy, you could like sweep a girl off her feet by doing something as simple as just writing a note. And I know that was kind of juvenile or juvenile, in that part of, of your life, when you were younger. But I think even with older women, you probably could, spit some game and, do something like, write poetry or serenading them, things like that. And women would fall for that. But you have so many guys that are, throwing themselves this way and that and shelling out money. And you've got, guys trying to take, women on trips and spend a lot of money on them. And it's crazy. You can't compete with that. Most men are either can't or are not going to try to compete with that. So, what do you do? So that's it. I just wanted to throw that out there and, leave your comment in the comment section. Do you agree with me? Do you see what I'm talking about? Have you noticed those things within your interaction when you walk by women, in the workplace or at the store or maybe even at church? Do they acknowledge your presence? Do they just ignore you, look away, act like they don't even see you, won't even, give you the courtesy of saying of just won't give you the courtesy of acknowledging that, hey, we're occupying the same like space here, and you're human, I'm a human, so let's there, go from there. So that's it. This is Logan Oren, the Troll for Truth. Why? Because the truth should mean something.
Trolls roll out.